This article is about visa. The 13 places you need a visa to travel with an American passport. Right? Of course, there are more than that, but at least I see one on the list that I went to recently. So let's see here. If you hold an American passport, you're likely used to traveling internationally with relative ease. Therefore, you may be surprised to learn that many countries require Americans to jump through some hoops to visit in the form of obtaining a visa. Beginning in January, 13 countries will issue American citizens a visa to visit as tourists. And by the way, this story is by Caroline Tanner. Note, this list does not contain information regarding countries that the U.S. Department of State has advised U.S. citizens to refrain from traveling to by issuing Level 4 alerts. It also does not detail destinations that are not currently issuing visas for Americans. Here's what you need to know. Australia. Australian Electronic Travel Authorization. How to apply online through the Australian government. Length of time. Valid for visits up to 3 months within a 12-month period. So that means I can go to Australia for up to 3 months within a 12-month period. Cost is $13. Right. Processing time varies by application, but most are processed within 21 days. So the cost is $13. So that tells me they're not really trying to make money off of you. It's just that they need the money, for the paperwork or whatever involved. Bolivia. Kind of hard to read this. Small writing. Valid U.S. passport with at least 6 months remaining. International certificate of yellow fever vaccination. See that? I got that. Yellow fever. Alright. Type Bolivia tourist visa. How to apply through the Bolivian consulate. Residents of select states can apply in person at Bolivian consulate in Washington, D.C., New York, Miami, Houston, or Los Angeles. Alternatively, you can purchase a visa at any land or air border per the U.S. Embassy in Bolivia. Length of time, valid for up to 30 days, for 90 days total in 1 year. So they don't give you much time, just 30 days. So you have to ask yourself, what's worth seeing in Bolivia then? The cost is $160. So are they trying to rip you off? Charging you $160 for a visa to go to Bolivia. Brazil. As of January 10th, 2024, passport holders from Australia, Canada, and the United States will require a visa to enter Brazil. If you have a valid physical visa on your passport for the purpose of your visit, you do not need to apply for a new visa. Okay, so let's see here. Brazil e-visa. Online through VFS Global. Valid for visits up to 90 days for multiple entries over 10 years. $81. The thing I don't like about Visa, like they usually require you to get a picture, then you have to go get like one of these. Some countries have specific type pictures, like certain dimensions. And then you gotta go out of your way, to find somebody, unless you can do it yourself, unless it's a country that say, we don't give a damn what he looks like. Just take it anywhere, But when I went to Vietnam, I think I paid like $16. And all they needed was one photo. Yeah, because Vietnam has like certain requirements. It has to be certain dimensions. It has to be. So, related to Brazil to require visas from Americans starting next month, which was January 10th, 2024. So what that does, it slows you down, because what happens is that if you travel, let's say you're in Colombia or Venezuela, Guyana, you feel like visiting Brazil, well, it's really simple. You just go over, right? But now with a visa, it's like trying to get to Vietnam. See, processing time is 5 business days. 5 business days. 5 business days is a lot of time. So if you like to travel and you have the freedom of movement, let's say you have it like that, where you can move around freely, these kind of visas, all they really do is they obstruct you and they slow you down, because I don't think they really serve any real purpose, especially if you're just going on tourism. It's different if you're going to work. If you're going to a country to work, that's different. But if it's just tourism, you should be able to travel with a passport. Because remember, at one time there were no passport. People used to travel without passports. So there you have it right there. Then China, visa types and required documents. So there's a list here for China. Now I know China always had visa. However, from what I heard, if you passing through like maybe within 72 hours, you don't need a visa in China. Like if you're gonna be there like a few hours, connecting flight, and you want to get off and see a city or so forth, the Chinese kind of ease it up a bit so you could get off. That will help their tourism, and you don't have to worry about like getting a visa if you have like maybe 2 hours. So let's see here. Length of time, valid for visits up to 30 days over a 90-day period. Cost is $140. Processing time, 4 business days. 4 days, that's long, right? Yeah. If you're a person who move around a lot. Egypt has an e-visa. I went to Egypt in 2017, in December 2017, and get one of these visas. How to apply online through the Egyptian Ministry of Interior. Valid for visits up to 30 days over a 90-day period. $25 for a one-time entry, $60 for multiple entry. Processing time, look how long it takes. 7 business days. So you can't be saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be in like Libya, or I'm gonna be maybe one of those countries close by, Algeria or whatever, and I want to go to Egypt." Nope. Up to 7 business days. So you got to plan everything out. India has an e-visa application process. Apply online. Upload photo and passport page. Pay e-visa fee. Right? Receive ETA online. So With India, valid for up to 30 days. They give you 30 days over 1 year. So that means they don't really want you in India. They're giving you 30 days over 1 year. That's it. Otherwise, get the hell out of India, you know. We don't want you here too long. $10 to $25 depending on time or visa. Processing time, 72 hours. Indonesia. They have Indonesia visa on arrival. When I went there, I got a visa ahead of time. Then after I paid my money and everything, the man told me, no, you no longer need a visa to come here unless you're a business person. That's what he told me. Online through the Indonesian government, valid for travel up to 30 days. Only 30 days. Cost is $35. The interesting thing about these countries is that you find there are people who live in there. This young lady I know, I met her in Indonesia some years ago. And I hadn't heard from her in a long time. She wrote me and told me her boyfriend is living there. No, I don't know what kind of visa he has, but he's been living there for 2 years now, so who knows? And she did mention that she's supposed to get married. So obviously he's not married to her. So the question is, what kind of visa is he living there on? If this visa is valid for travel up to 30 days. So how does he do it? And Indonesia is an archipelago, lots of islands. Probably thousands. Okay, so Kenyan e-visa, apply for a single entry tourist visa through the Directorate Immigration Services. Right. Length of time, valid for 3 months from the date of issuance. $51. Takes 2 business days. Myanmar, which we know as Burma, get e-visa approval within 4 steps, right? Myanmar tourist visa online through Myanmar Ministry of Immigration and Myanmar has a war, by the way. There's a civil war going on there, so anybody visiting there, you gotta be really careful, or maybe out of your mind, to visit Myanmar, because they're shooting at soldiers, they're shooting at anybody, and the government there is ruthless. They shoot anybody. So length of time, valid for up to 28 days. Wow, they don't even give you 30 days. They give you like 28 days, like the month of February. 28 days. The shortest time they could give you. From 90 days of issuance. Right? And the cost is $50. Of course, charging people $50 for a tourist visa, that definitely implies that they need the money. And you get it in 3 business days. So Myanmar shouldn't be in your list, believe me. You risk dying. You risk being caught between the government and insurgents. New Zealand Electronic Travel Authority, online through New Zealand immigration, valid for travel up to 3 months. Right? From 2 years of issuance. So wow. And it's only $11. So that's cheap. And you get it in 2 business days. So it's not like they're trying to rip you off. Only $11 they're charging you. Visa-free entry or higher e-visa. This is Qatar. I passed through Qatar and on my way to Bangkok, Thailand, but I didn't stay there. But what they're saying here is there's Qatar visa on arrival. Upon arrival at the Hamad International Airport, that's in Doha. Length of time, valid for 30 days, with both single and multiple entry visas available. The question is, what do you do there in Qatar? Then Sri Lanka. This looks like it's blurred out. Blurred out. Sri Lanka electronic travel authorization online through the Sri Lanka Tourism Portal and Travel Advisor. Valid for travel up to 30 days and 30 days from issuance. The cost is $35 and processing time is 3 to 20 business days. Isn't that crazy? So let's say you in Hyderabad, India, and you want to go to Sri Lanka. You can be waiting for your visa for between 3 and 20 days. How you like that? Yeah? Vietnam. Well, this is the one I had experience with, but I didn't pay $17. I paid $25. So, let's see here. Let's read what they said. Vietnam electronic visa online through the Vietnamese government. Valid for travel from 90 days of issuance. For travel up to 30 days. Cost $17. Well, the one I got, the price must have gone up because it was $25. Processing time, 2 business days. It took me longer because I forgot to put the address of the hotel in Hanoi, and it was rejected. Sent back to me and told me what the problem is and told me how to go about resubmitting it, which I did, and then it was approved like maybe a couple days later. All right, so that's it. So yes, some countries you do need to get prior approval. You need to have a visa, and some countries require that 6 months. And your passport, you must have six free months, So if you enter in some countries, let's say today is February the 19th, 2024, and let's say your passport is expiring on April the 30th, right? So you go from February, March, April. That's about 2 months. 2 months and 11 days, or so forth. So that means if your passport is expiring April 30th, you can't enter. You need to have a passport that's valid for like 6 months beyond the date of entry. So that's the thing to keep in mind, and I saw it happen. We were going from Vietnam to Cambodia, and for some reason, the tour I was with, instead of like checking, before the bus I was on, because there was like different people on that bus, and they checked. They wanted to see the passport, something. Instead of saying, "Let me see your passport before you enter the bus." And there was this one guy from France. He was traveling with his wife, and his passport had less than 6 months on it to be valid. So he will not be allowed to enter Cambodia. So he had to get off the bus, and they would take him back to Ho Chi Minh City, where I'm sure there's a consulate, a French consulate. He can get the passport renewed or extra pages or something like that. And the thing is, his wife was with him. You know. Now you heard the saying, like when you marry for better or for worse, in sickness and in whatever. Well, you know what? The wife said, "No, I'm not going back to Vietnam. I'm moving forward." She's going on to Phnom Penh. Yep. So while he was heading back, to Ho Chi Minh City, she was going to move on to Phnom Penh. Yep. So, I mean, it's up to you. How would you feel being married to a woman like that? Who decides she's not gonna come back with you. She's gonna move on and she's gonna check into the hotel by herself. And when you get there, you get there. That's it. That's your problem. You should know better than to be traveling with a passport that's close to 6 months expiration date. That's a lesson there. So always remember, if you're going to be traveling, be sure they're at least 6 months valid on your passport. Do not travel with a passport that's coming to close to 6 month expiration. Otherwise, you're going to suffer the fate of that French man at the Cambodian-Vietnam border.